The following is a rebroadcast of TV50's Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
TV50 Sports and the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association present Candlepin Stars and Strikes. From Sandy's Bowling Lanes in Windham, it's the $2,000 John Carponi Ford Championship. Split it. Look at this.
Yes! Oh, wow! Right in the pocket. Oh, there was never a doubt about that one.
And now your hosts for Candlepin Stars and Strikes, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Sandy's Bowling Lanes in Windham for another week of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And this week we start a brand new 5-week ladder championship series, the John Carponi Ford Ladder Championship. And Dan Murphy, we're looking forward to this one.
Oh, it should be exciting because the added prize money, thanks to John Carponi Ford, we got $1,000 to the winner of this ladder, and we get some other bonus money that we'll talk to later on. And gentleman standing next to you will introduce a little other gizmo we got going here today.
All right, and we'll meet the bowlers also in just a second like we normally do, but this gentleman here off to my right is Charlie Finley from John Carponi Ford, and Charlie, it's good to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm enjoying it.
Well, we were looking forward certainly to the increased prize money, but also, as Dan mentioned, we've got a little extra surprise here during this 5 weeks. Why don't you tell us what you're holding there?
Well, we've got a radar gun here that's used by all baseball teams and police people and anything to measure the speed of an object. We decided to purchase this gun because there's been so much controversy on how fast a bowler can throw a bowling ball compared to a baseball pitcher throwing a baseball. Well, naturally, there's a lot of rumors going around that a Candlepin bowler can throw a ball 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. Well, that's not true. That's why we bought the gun, to prove that a 5-ounce baseball can go 90 miles an hour, but a bowling ball will probably go 40, 45 miles an hour at tops.
And, in fact, that has been proven, and we're going to prove it even additionally on these next few weeks as we have a little fun with the radar gun and see how fast different guys throw. But it's good to have you here, Charlie, and we'll be looking forward to talking to you again during the series.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Doug.
All right. Charlie Finley from John Carponi Ford, and now we'll take a second to meet both of our bowlers. We have a couple of guys starting off this ladder championship who've not been with us before, and first of all, let's meet our number 6 seed, Fred Ruonala.
Fred bowls out of the Portsmouth Bowlerama, carries 116 average, 175 high single, and qualified for the show with a 637 5-string total.
And as I mentioned, Fred, along with the guy he'll be bowling against, is making his first appearance here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Our number 5 seed comes down to us from just north of Manchester, from Allenstown, New Hampshire. It's Chuck Langlois.
And Chuck does his bowling right here at Sandy's, and he carries 120 average, also 174 high single, and he qualified with a 645. So both bowlers new to our show. It should be interesting to see what both of them do.
When we come back from our first commercial break, we'll show you the rest of the ladder and the other bowlers that we'll be looking forward to seeing in the coming weeks. But we're going to get this match started right after we take this time out. Don't go away. All right, the $2,000 John Carponi Ford Championship, and here are the folks who have qualified. We'll be seeing all these gentlemen in the weeks to come. Of course, today, the match between Fred and Chuck, the number 5 and 6 seeds, and then in the weeks ahead, Roger Marcoux, our number 4 seed, Peter Compercio at number 3, Gary Carrington, the number 2 seed, and a familiar face and name sitting in the number 1 spot, Bob Kelly from Stoneham, Mass. will be here as our number 1 seed in a few weeks. But it's time to settle a lot of things before that, and right now Fred Ruonala is going to start things off for us on lane 32 as we begin the John Carponi Ford Championship.
Seven in the 8. First time on the show in front of the lights for... oh, nice shot for Fred.
Starting it off with a spare.
Used that wood effectively to carry that 9-pin. Ball glances off and takes the 7 on the way through. It's a nice side kick off the right sidewall to carry that 9.
We have a lot of extra money happening, as we told you about. The $2,000 in prize money for the bowlers for the 5 shows. Of course, the winner of the ladder championship will receive a check for $1,000. Each of our bowlers, and there's another similar shot for a 10 for Fred. So the half Worcester costume on the spare. Now we get our first look at Chuck Langlois, or Langlois.
Wow.
Good looking ball.
Oh, it does his bowling. Whoa, wait a minute here. 10 pin.
All of it multiplied times 5 and added to your first string.
Chuck's studying this one. It's just the 10 pin, as you see, but that wood is still rocking back and forth, and Fred, of course, or rather Chuck is going to wait and see exactly where it ends up, see if he has a clean shot at this.
Well, he's going to make a choice. Either try to get the 10 pin clean or use the wood.
And he decides to take the wood and takes it out for a spare.
Interesting to see the bowlers. Now, I clocked him on that one. Is about just shy of 40 miles an hour when he let the ball go. I'm wondering if it's any different when they shoot spares as opposed to when they throw that first ball.
Well, of course, we'll have a chance over the next several weeks to play around with this thing and see exactly what is happening. But I remember a couple of weeks ago we mentioned it and asked you at home to maybe have an idea in mind, a number in mind as to what you thought a bowler could throw a Candlepin bowling ball. And I'll bet a lot of folks probably thought that it would be up in the 70, 80 mile an hour range, up comparable to what a baseball pitcher throws. But you got to remember that a bowling ball is a lot heavier than a baseball.
Not only that, yet the only thing you got in the baseball with resistance is really wind. The air itself, here we're rolling a 2.5-pound ball on a hard surface, a maple surface, the maple wood. So that's gonna, the friction is gonna be tremendous compared to just friction from the wind or the air. So I was amazed. I thought we'd be up over 50, and I was amazed at the findings that we do have. I actually tried it myself, and I tried to throw 40 miles an hour. I couldn't. So quite a difference in Fred and Chuck. Chuck, like I said, was just under 40, and Fred is throwing low 30s, mid 30s that time. I might have mentioned, we mentioned there's also a little bonus money that can be won by the bowlers in this ladder, and that's for a perfect game. John Grapponi Ford is going to donate $25 to each bowler who can throw a perfect game. Now, a perfect game in Candlepin, of course, it means at least 10 pins in every box, 10 or better. And unfortunately, both these bowlers have locked themselves out of this first game. Fred getting a couple 8 boxes, and second box for Chuck was a 9.
Be a little too much to ask, I guess, for 12 consecutive strikes for a perfect game.
Yeah, as opposed to, or similar to getting a hole-in-one in every golf hole, I guess. That's about the odds of that happening. I've heard of 6 in a row.
A 9 for Chuck, and a 4-pin advantage after 3. Carol Downey, of course, keeping the big scoreboard for us as always. Dennis Noel is our lob line judge. Talking about the money, in addition to the prize money and the $25 perfect game bonus that Dan just mentioned, our bonus ball contest at the end of the show is also up to $200 this week. All around it. And a 9 box. And the difference is 5 after the first 4.
John Grapponi Ford has promoted this perfect game throughout the NHCBA houses, and each bowler that rolls a perfect game is entitled to one of Jim Fairhurst's lighter side of Candlepin bowling book. And the stats show that we've always said that the house that we tape Stars and Strikes in is a high scoring house. They have almost 4-to-1 perfect games more than the other houses in New Hampshire. So we may see some today. That's quite a feat, though, because you're going to inevitably going to punch through one of those 10 boxes, and then to try to work it out for a 10 box, it adds a little more pressure to the bowlers.
And really, it has nothing to do with your high scoring, because you can get a perfect game with 100.
Exactly.
But I don't believe I've ever heard of anyone rolling 10 consecutive 10 boxes. That would be very, very difficult to do.
I've seen 96s, 97s. I don't think I've ever seen anything higher than 97 without a mark. I'm sure there has been.
We haven't had any marks in this string since the first box, as both bowlers got off to a good start with spares, but since then it's been open all the way. You can really tell, certainly visually, in addition to the numbers that Dan's giving you, how much harder Chuck throws the ball. Except even though it looks like it would be a big difference, in actual numbers it really isn't.
No, it's a matter of 7 or 8 miles an hour right now. Not even quite that high. Oh, nice out.
Almost. He'll take it for a 9, though. Adds another pin to his lead, which is now 6. Chuck and his wife Margaret live in Allenstown, New Hampshire.
Oh, nice
There's
strike.
The big strike.
1-3 pocket, no doubt about it. Good camera shot right there, shows that strike perfectly executed by Chuck.
First strike of the day. And now Fred Ruonala. And Fred let that one slip away on him a little bit. Fred lives in Hampton, near the ocean, and works as a dispatcher for the Hampton Police Department, so he probably knows all about this radar gun stuff. A 10 box for Fred.
189. You see the replay. Good ball there. Left the 5-pin. Looking for his second mark. Another added feature here. Well, I don't know if it's a feature, but you probably noticed that we have brand new pins up for the show. And I always like brand new pins because I always felt that if you put the ball between them, they went. But you're not going to steal too many with brand new pins.
That was a big spare for Fred a moment ago, picking up that single pin. His second mark. This is Chuck on a strike now, remember, in the 6th.
4 horsemen to the left. 1, 2, 4, and 7. Oh, nice execution there. Right between the 1 and the 2. Spare on strike.
That's how you do it. And back on it with another strike, and 20 more for Chuck. So Chuck Langlois is starting to get 20 at a time. Carol Downey likes that.
I wonder if we had a radar gun on Carol this morning driving in. She got here a little late. I think there's a good ball by Fred. Strike. Word has it that the radar gun couldn't cover it. She was going that fast. There you see the replay. 1-3 pocket. Strike for Fred on spare. A little heavy. Oh, got a nice break there. 6 into the 3. Left himself to 4-7, but a tough piece of wood. Oh,
Got
nice
it.
shot.
And 20 more for Fred.
Hold it. Okay, we got to tell the bowlers to finish that.
A little confusion here. Is Chuck anxious to get up there? And
Hey, if I threw a strike, spare, strike, I'd want to get right back up there, too.
Fred's fill in the 10th, and it'll be a 123.
Good opening game, considering he had 66 in the 7th. And looked like he's going to be considerably under his average, and then he went spare, strike, spare. And he won a fine 123.
Now Chuck Langlois on a strike.
Well, he's going to have a shot. That wood against the 5. Play the 5, slide that wood into the 6 and the 10. Now watch out the other piece of wood doesn't stop it, though.
He's going for it, and he's got it. He's got it. Great shot.
4 marks in a row. Just got a tip of that wood. I almost thought he went too low, but 6 into that 10 for the spare. Ooh.
And on the spare, a solid 9 drop.
131.
You make Carroll do some work this time with the 19 instead of the 20.
He just looked over us. How am I doing? You're right so far, Carroll.
And another spare, 5 in a row, 5 marks in a row for Chuck Langlois to wrap up this first string. And a shot at a 150 game if he gets a big fill. But it's a 4 fill and a 145. So Chuck Langlois wraps up a rather slow first half of the string, but really lights on fire in the second half. He had 93 in the second half there with those 5 marks in a row. Those strike-on spares and vice versa help a lot. Chuck Langlois will take a 22-pin lead into string number 2. Don't go away, we're coming right back. Chuck Langlois is ready to start us off in string number 2. And Chuck had a blazing finish there in that first string. Really catching fire there at the end. Winding up with a 145. And it doesn't look like he's cooled off at all. For a spare. Not an easy shot with that wood there, and Chuck decided to play the wood. Back to the fill over on lane 31, which is that. The 3, 6, and 7.
Trying to split that 3 and 6. No, he's going to go inside.
Almost. Should mention that the radar gun that we are using is courtesy of John Grapponi Ford. And as always, each of our bowlers will receive a copy of Jim Fairhurst's book, The Light Side of Candlepin Bowling, and that also is courtesy of John Grapponi Ford. And the trophies that we mentioned earlier, the plaques as well as the TV50 pen, which we send out if your card is drawn but you do not match the jackpot, those come to us courtesy of N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon, Massachusetts. Fred Ruonala, who also managed to string some marks together at the end of that first string, and it's a good thing he did, or he would have found an unmanageable deficit here going into the second string.
Had 8 marks out of 10 boxes for the 2 bowlers in the last 5 boxes. Not a good sign there, leaving the head pin standing though.
There goes the perfect game.
Chuck still got his going. Oops.
Watch out, could come this way.
Okay, that was about 34 miles an hour, that first ball. Let's see if he lets up on this spare at all. Oh, he missed it.
You let
That'd
up.
be a great state trooper, wouldn't I? I think that guy was speeding. I didn't pull the trigger fast enough. Ooh. Okay, now there's perfect game is in jeopardy here. He's got to try to work this out for a spare or a 10 to keep the perfect game going. Oh boy.
Not going to be easy.
You young bowlers watching, third ball is so very, very, very important. Oh, look at this.
Wow.
He's still alive.
Wow. What a shot.
I've never seen that shot made that way. And I've never seen the ball go backwards like that either. He cut the 4 into the 5. Wow. Well, he's going to work hard again. As I was saying, you young bowlers, even you old bowlers, third ball, you miss a spare, try even harder to pick those pins up on the third ball. You increase your average tremendously. There's 3. Trying to get to 3, 6, and 10 and keep that perfect game going. No, not this time.
44 through 4 for Chuck. And more importantly, perhaps an opening for Fred Ruonala, who is working on a spare here in the second. Again, both of these bowlers making their first appearance with us on Stars and Strikes. In fact, Dan, of the 6 bowlers in this ladder series, only Bob Kelly has been here before. And he's our number 1 seed. And there's another spare.
2, 4, and 7. We got the second seed in Gary Carrington. Boy's been around the lanes for a long time and an excellent candlepin bowler. Belongs to WCBC Pro Tour as well as CBA Pro Tour.
Too bad we don't have another bowler in this ladder named Colby. 3 spares in a row for Fred Ruonala, and we will pause right here as Fred has 3 marks in a row with 43, spare up in the 4th. Chuck Langlois is at 44 through 4. Could tighten up here a little bit in this second string. We'll be back. Don't go away. Chuck Langlois has gone through 3 open frames in a row after reeling off 6 marks in a row in the 2 strings combined.
Ooh, half Worcester to the right, 3 and 9.
Chuck looked like he threw that one a little bit harder.
Well, you know, I'm wondering if the bowlers start to overthrow a little bit. That was almost 43 miles an hour. Now he was throwing about 40, just about 40 the first game, the 3 or 4 times that I've timed him. He's back to 40 that time. Interesting side note there. I always wonder if some of the bowlers, even myself sometimes, you get pumped up, you throw a good game, and you start overthrowing the ball. Much like a baseball pitcher starts overthrowing.
The 1, 4.
Trying head pin, inside or out. Just in between. And it'll be 5 open frames, and Chuck a chance for Fred to get some of those pins back from Chuck.
Well, a good fill here for Fred on this spare in the 4th will just about wipe out that 22-pin lead. Each bowler with 7 marks now. And he'll take them all, it looks like. Yep.
Consistent 34 miles an hour, the first ball he thrown. And each time I've timed him, he's been within 0.2 of a mile per hour. Again, 34.9 that time. A little faster and removes the 3-pin.
Luckily, it was on a strike. Get a chance to work this out a little bit.
Very nearly went through and got that 9, but managed a 6 fill. 79.
And he's taking the lead by 6. Trail by 22 coming in. But a 7 box, and he'll lose 2 pins in count. And the difference is now 4. So there you see how fast a lead can disappear, as Fred rolled off 4 straight marks to erase that 22-pin lead. Actually, the lead had gone up to 30 after the first box.
1, 2, and 4.
Chuck took a long time to look it over, and he leaves the 4-pin.
Well, he went inside. 1, 2, and around the 4-pin, left it standing.
The winner of this match, of course, moves on to face our number 4 seed, Roger Marcoux.
6 and 9.
The runner-up will take a check for $50, the runner-up plaque from the NNR Trophy Company, and, of course, a copy of Jim Fairhurst's book. Ooh, no.
Boy, chopped out that 6-pin. 1/4 of an inch either way. Either the pin or the ball would have carried the 9. Showing a little bit of bad luck right now.
2 more open frames. And Fred Ruonala, who already has overtaken Chuck in this string, will hope to add to his lead here. And very deliberate, very accurate 9-pin drop, leaving the 6.
Ball breaks from right to left, so get down to the 6 or the 10-pin, he could have a little trouble. Let's see what happens here.
There's the situation. And
right on it. And consistently 34 miles an hour, just over 34.
Well, we've talked before, Dan, about mechanics and making sure your motion is the same every time, your release point is the same every time. If you do all the mechanics right, your speed should be the same every time.
Yes, exactly right. Good point, Doug. 1, 2, and 4. Okay, Smarty. If that's true, how come we don't get a strike every time?
Well, that says nothing about accuracy.
Oh. Oh, boy. Wood behind the head pin that time killed the shot, made the ball go right straight to the right side wall, never touched the 2-pin.
Be a 9-box for Fred. And he now leads in the match by 10.
Not only the speed, but the angle of the ball hitting the pins, too. You know, I lie awake at night trying to figure this game out, and I haven't yet. So many variables.
Watch out, needs one more and will not get it. He'll have to shoot at the 6, 7. Does have some wood down there, though.
You know, starting, now it's rolling back towards the 7.
Might he try and play that double wood on the left?
Well, the lively side kicks here, he probably will, because I don't think he can do much with a 6-pin. Now he's going to 6. I think the only shot he had there was playing the 6 and hopefully the wood next to the 6 would come off the right side wall and come back for the 7. Let's see what happens now. He's going to hit that wood. Oh boy, look at this. Almost.
It'll be a 9-box, and Chuck really struggling after having a great finish in that first string where he rolled a 93.5 over the second 5 frames of the first string. And he's barely going to be over 93 for this string.
Well, this game can humble you very quickly.
Well, here's a chance for him, although that wood is not going to be too fun to deal with.
No, he could drive the ball straight through, but he hasn't been bowling that badly. Got tapped a couple times on 2-pinners. Missed the head pin a few times, but he's liable to come right back with another big game, the 3rd game. So, he's got a better angle on the right hand wood now, I think. Oh, maybe that's out too far. Let's see what happens. That's what he decided to do. Nice shot. And he needed that to go over the century mark. Here's his replay.
Would love to have a big fill, and he gets it. So that will salvage a 108 for Chuck here in the 2nd string, leaving him at 253. Fred does not have to mark to keep the lead. If he does mark, that will just add on to it. little off target that time. Just missing the head pin, and it'll stay.
Jim Fairhurst is here in the crowd today with Charlie Finley. We have to ask him. He's gone around the state with this radar gun. Let me see if he can give us any stats on some of the bowlers that throw. He has time to throw the hardest.
I believe there's a page or two in the book also that talks about that and
the comparisons.
Right. And what the fastest throwers do.
In fact, he gave me a comparative velocity here with golf ball. It can travel up to its 184 miles an hour. Pilota, is that what that's called? The highlight ball?
Pilota, I believe, yeah.
Pilota?
Yeah.
That's 142 miles an hour. And then you get down to a hockey puck, 108 miles an hour. Remember the old days when they didn't wear any masks, the goalies? Wow. Baseball, 94 miles an hour. Of course, we know baseball pitchers, some of them can throw upwards of 100. Nice try there. Candlepin bowling ball, 50 with a question mark. I can't imagine anyone throwing at 50 after I've fooled around with this radar gun.
Right now we have a dead even match, and that's the way it's going to stay. As we head into the third and final string, we are exactly even. Chuck Langlois is winning the first string by 22. Fred Ruonala takes the second string by 22, and we're going to bowl one string to see who goes on here, and we'll do all of that and have more for you on Stars and Strikes right after these words. Don't go away. Fred Ruonala to start us off in the third and final string. We are dead even after two.
We could have went out for breakfast and did everything and came back and bowled this one game. Okay, well, I did check with Jim Fairhurst. He's gone, like I said, he's gone around the state with this radar gun, and he's found, in fact, he's been on our show. Steve Johnson from Berwick, Maine, bowls out of the Bowleram in Portsmouth, threw the ball 43 miles an hour. That's the fastest he could find. Now Chuck today has reached 42.
Which is surprising in a way because Steve Johnson isn't one of the guys you'd think about if you were going to try and name off some of the guys who throw really hard.
No. I'd like to see the gun get on Peter Flynn. Peter Flynn throws pretty hard. We've got some bowlers in the weeks to come. Bob Kelly, the top seed in this ladder, throws pretty hard. Gary Carrington. I'm not sure. Roger Mark, who I know doesn't throw that hard. And I'm not too familiar with Peter...
Compercio,
thank you.
Well, a tough start for Fred, a 7 and a 5. Reminder also, we tape, of course, here at Sandy's Bowling Lanes on Route 28 in Windham, and our next taping is 2 weeks from today, February 8th. So we invite you to stop down and join us. We start usually about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and we finish at about 5 or so in the afternoon. We're here all day long, so if you're in the area, stop by for a little while. That's February the 8th, Sunday. Our next taping for Candlepin Stars and Strikes here at Sandy's. And I should mention also, Dan, that in weeks to come, won't be long now, we're going to have another of our mixed doubles ladder championships, and those are always a lot of fun.
Yes, certainly is.
Oh, Chuck, is that, in fact, that was a lob. Okay, I was about to ask if that was, in fact, a lob, because it looked like Chuck really threw that one out there. Dennis Noel.
Dennis Noel, or... Go ahead, folks.
Who does he look like?
What does he look like? In the off-season, this is what he does. This is Tony Franklin of the Patriots. Kicks field goals, and now he's a lob line judge for us.
Of course, he would have been busy today in the Super Bowl, but where the Patriots were eliminated, well, that's how it goes.
We got trouble with lane 31. Just a second.
We're going to have Chuck switch over and move over to lane 32 until we get the situation taken care of. But in any case, this is the second ball now for Chuck in this box. And now he's got some work to do.
That was very close to another lob. Punched out to 1, 5, and 8. And disappointing 6, but he actually gained 1 in count. That puts him up by 3. I think he's very fortunate. Well, 15 after 2 boxes and gained 3 pins.
Boy, that's unusual.
Yes.
Well, this has been a strange match really all the way through. The bowlers have both shown signs of really lighting it up, and then there have been other times when they just can't seem to buy a break. Right here, Fred Ruonala's got an interesting setup.
He's got the head pin 4, 7, 8 in the right, left, and 10 pin in the right. And leaves the
and a big strike.
Big mark there. You see the replay, 1-3 pocket. That seems to be his pocket. 7 pin, the last one to go. Big mark, first of the 3rd string for both bowlers. And the possibility of grabbing the lead back.
Boy, Chuck would have loved to have seen that 9 pin tap out of there in the back of the diamond, but he'll have to shoot at the whole thing now.
Off the wall? No.
For a 10 bucks, so through completed frames, Chuck leads by 3. But of course now he's up against that big strike in the 4th.
Oh, flushing the head pin again. Well, he's going to have a shot here. 2, 4, 7 with the 6 and the 10. And it looks like if he pinches the 2 pin and the wood at the same time, he'll send the wood over to the 6 and the 10. Let's see. Oh, wow. Boy, went right by the 6, got the 10.
Well, we are going to pause right here, and as we do, Chuck Langlois will have 35 through 4, and when we come back, Fred Ruonala will be working on a strike. 22 with a strike up in the 4th and a chance to retake the lead. Don't go away. It looks like it's going to be a close finish. Stars and Strikes continues after these words. Well, Fred Ruonala is working on a strike, and if he gets more than 3 on it, he will take the lead. We have just 6 boxes to go in the match.
A little extra time to think about it. Right on the head pin, looking for a double. 4 and the 8. Possibility of another mark. Well, he wants to get by that front piece of wood. He wants to be on the 4 pin. He does it. Nice shot. Made it look awful easy.
A 7 pin lead plus another mark.
Yeah, and he goes through the middle. 3, 6, 10 with a deuce. 6 fill. Look at this.
Ooh.
Wow.
Sounded like he dropped that ball a little bit, but it was still right on target.
Split the 3 and the 6 and went right in behind the deuce. Almost another spare.
Well, what those 2 marks have done for Fred Ruonala, as you see, have put Chuck Langlois in a situation where he needs 2 marks.
Wants that sleeper in the back to go. The 8 pin. Oh, he's going to have some help here.
Some nice help. The 2-5-8 with wood. Big one. That's a big one. That'll put the lead under 10.
You see the replay. Use the wood effectively to carry those 3 pins. Good looking ball. Well, he's got a piece of wood. I don't know if it's up far enough on the 2 and the 4 to carry the 6 pin, but we'll see what happens. Well, he carried the 6 and left the 10.
Nice try, Chuck.
Chuck works at Raymer's Express in Methuen, Mass. And he will take a 9, and the difference is 8 with 4 boxes remaining. Remember, we were dead even coming into this string, so this string will decide it.
Oh, look at this. Good looking ball going in. 7-10. But, well, he's going to try to cap those 2 pieces of wood. Either that or go low on the right-hand wood, or push the reset button, or he's going up top. Nice try. It's a tough shot no matter which way he decided to play it.
No, he'd just love to get one. Probably just go right at one of them. Every pin critical here, so you don't want to try and be greedy and take 2 when you might get none.
Right. Right now the lead is 8.
Again through the middle.
And again, boy, we're getting some spare leaves that I haven't seen before. 2, 9, and 10. You got to be on the 2 pin. Use the wood to get the 9 and the 10.
Looks pretty good. And no! Wow.
Looks like he moved that 10 pin a little bit. Well, every pin, like you said, is critical now.
It'll be a 9, and now Chuck Langlois can come up needing only 1 mark to even things up or possibly take the lead. The first week of the 5-week John Grapponi Ford Championship, and it's been a good one.
Oh boy, half wish to right. Very quickly, I was asked to mention this, and those of you who are in the Haverhill area, January 31st, nice try by Chuck. There's an exhibition match, team championships, the world champs against some all-stars. One of the bowlers, a couple of the bowlers, Bob Kelly, Gary Carrington, going to be with us. But the benefit is muscular dystrophy, so it's a fine cause. So if you're in the, I believe the match starts about 5 o'clock. So if you're in the Pilgrim Lanes area in Haverhill, 31st of January, stop by and nice 10. A little donation to muscular dystrophy, and see a very fine 2 teams match up and go at it. Some of the best candlepin bowlers around.
And Chuck slipped that first ball off to the right again, much as he did the last one. At least he'll have something to shoot at this time, although it's the 4 horsemen with the 8 pin in the back.
He's got it.
Oh, wow.
Clutch mark right there.
Wow, what a shot that was.
Not only does he need it to get the lead, but he gives Fred something to think about for his final 2. Knowing, go ahead, Doug.
I was going to say, here we go down to the final 2, and it's basically dead even.
He'll get up needing 6 on the fill to knot it up after 8 frames. Well, nothing Fred would like more than put at least 1 mark up. Well, doesn't want to lose too many in count either.
Don't forget, stay tuned at the end of the show. Ooh, tough 7 box for Fred. At the end of the show, we will have $200 up for grabs in the bonus ball jackpot.
Oh boy, I forgot to send my postcard in too.
You have to lift that box. That's you, but you got to worry about.
Wish somebody win it. Oh boy. Well, he's going to try to make this mark. If he doesn't, he certainly doesn't want any more 7 boxes. Reached the point where Chuck is not going to need very much on the spare. Nice try.
Oh, he gave it a run. He's going to leave the 10 pin, probably. Yes.
Well, last 5 boxes, no marks for Fred, and that could spell doom for him, but right now 6 pins on this fill will tie it up, and they only have to beat the 17 pins that Fred has got the last 2 boxes.
Right, but perhaps more importantly, more than a 3 here would mean a lot because he wouldn't have to mark, and there it is. So now he needs, well, in essence, just 7 more pins because he already has 8 to his credit in this box. And
this looks pretty good. If he keeps on the lane, hits that wood, that's going to spell victory for him.
Now he just has to keep it on the lane.
Come on, drop the block, Chuck.
And that'll do it.
There it is for Chuck Langlois. He will move along. Well, it just came down to those 2 marks.
All right, the last few boxes. Good match. And good showing by Fred the first time on our show.
That's 12 marks for Chuck Langlois. And he will have something in the 360 range and another half Worcester, but he doesn't care now. It'll be a 119 and up to a 372 for Chuck Langlois to take a 16-pin win over Fred Ruonala's 356. We'll be back for the bonus ball contest and talk to the bowlers after these words. Don't go away. We just have a few moments here to talk with our 2 bowlers. First of all, our runner-up, Fred Ruonala. Fred, it was a good match. Just came down to those last few boxes.
I couldn't make the spares in the last half. That's what cost me.
Well, we appreciate you coming by. We know it was your first time here, and you bowled well. We have, of course, the Jim Fairhurst book for you and the check for $50, and also this runner-up plaque from the N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon, Massachusetts, and we hope to see you again. Thanks for coming by.
Appreciate it, Doug. Have a good day now.
All right, Fred Ruonala has been our runner-up today. Fred from Hampton, New Hampshire, and now Chuck Langlois on lane 32 will try and get us a match. And Charlie Finley standing here ready to hold the box for us as we try and get a winning card. $200 on the line, and let's see, 7. That's usually a pretty good bet. We'll see. Chuck, come on over here, and we'll talk in just a second. I'm going to try and get a winner out of here. We've got it, a winner. $200 for Helen Davis of Manchester. Helen, you're $200 richer, and we'll be sending that check right out to you shortly, so that means the jackpot will recycle down to $10 next week. It also means that we will empty this box, which I'm sure will make Charlie very happy because it's very heavy. Chuck Langlois is our winner, and Chuck, you did a great job. Why don't you slide right in here so everybody can see you, and 372, but you got the 2 big marks when you needed them.
Yeah, it was a struggle. It seemed like my ball wasn't working for me, but I guess it started to, anyway, and it helped out.
I know next week you'll be facing Roger Marcoux, and I assume you know Roger at least from the roll-off.
Yeah, I do know him, and he is a very good bowler.
We're looking forward to the match next week. We'll see you then.
Okay, thank you, Doug.
All right, Chuck Langlois is our winner this week, and Charlie Finley, of course, from John Grapponi Ford has been with us. The second week of the John Grapponi Ford Ladder Championship will be next week at 12 noon right here on Candlepin, Stars and Strikes. Until then, for the entire TV50 Sports crew and my partner Dan Murphy, Doug Brown saying so long from Sandy's.